Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Afoma Omesi. I run the website Reading Middle Grade, which is dedicated to championing the best middle grade books for kids ages 8 to 14. Today, I'm sharing my new release spotlight for the month of April 2025. I'm going to be sharing 3 amazing middle grade books that I've read and loved and that will be releasing in the month of April 2025. Just FYI, I do this every single month, and I give a longer, more detailed list to my Patreon community. I share the books I've read and loved that month. I include a handy printable to keep with you, and I even include content notes, things you might want to know about language, content in general, and things like that, so that you are fully prepared before purchasing any of these books for the kids in your life. Today, I'm going to be sharing 3 excellent books. I think April has some serious standout releases, and I'm very excited to be sharing them with you. The first one is called The Trouble with Heroes by Kate Mesner. This is a mixed multi-format middle grade book. Most of it is in verse, but there are some prose sections, there are some sections that are told as text messages, there are posters, there are newspaper clippings. It's a mishmash of things, and that makes this book so exciting to read, so interesting to read, even though it's like over 360 pages long. So this book is about Finn. Finn has some issues. He's grieving the loss of his father, and he kind of throws a tantrum one day and destroys the headstone of a famous 46er. That is a woman who has climbed the 46 Adirondack peaks. And her daughter is like, well, if you want to make things right with me, you have to hike these peaks and take my mother's dog with you. So Finn gets on this journey. It's like an adventure, not really survival, more like adventure. So every day he's like hiking a different peak, and he has like lots of helpers along the way. So this is a true coming of age story, but in between we also get some flashbacks into different points in Finn's life that show us why he became the kid that he is, including the story of his father and some other issues that have taken place in his life. And that makes this story like a rich discovery of the character. Many things bring the story to life besides like multi-format, the subject matter, the character that we love, of course, this adorable dog that goes with him everywhere. This story is perfect for kids who love the outdoors. And there's a lot of poetry in the story. Like the author uses different kinds of poetry, like haikus, acrostic poetry, and like that's part of what Finn is learning in school. So it's really great if you want to teach poetry to use this book. I loved it. I thought it was like A plus, really good. And I can see it really appealing to kids who love animals, who love the outdoors, who love coming of age stories with plenty of heart and like characters overcoming difficult situation. The only thing I will say is that I recommend it for kids ages 10 and up because there is some mature topics such as like alcoholism, potential suicide, and things like that. So definitely good to watch out for content like that. But otherwise, this was fantastic. The next book on my list is like on the other spectrum, so adorable, very sweet topics. It's called Benny on the Case by Wesley King. I've never read anything by this author, but he's apparently really popular. He's the author of O.C. Daniel, if you know that like OG middle grade / YA book. This one is completely different. It's very sweet. It's about a boy named Benny. Benny has mosaic Down syndrome, which means that he doesn't have Down syndrome in the typical aspect. It's just some of his chromosomes have more than the number of chromosomes that they should be. And so this manifests in his physical features, but he doesn't have any of the serious heart conditions or developmental delays that people with Down syndrome have. So this year, Benny is getting reintegrated back into normal school. And fortunately for him, he meets a new friend right at the door, this girl called Salma, who's also new to the area. And very importantly, this book is set in Canada. It's set in Newfoundland, a very small town in Newfoundland, which really just like increases the charm of the book because the setting is so lovely. It's a very tiny town and it's kind of like a coastal situation and very, very sweet. So interestingly, Benny lives in a nursing home, retirement home that his parents have set up. And so his parents are the owners. Only his mom is alive. His mom is a widow and she's living in this retirement home, taking care of his elderly ones, and everything's going well until a string of burglaries start happening. Things start getting missing in the house. And then Benny and Salma start to work together to get to the bottom of this mystery. Along the way, they discover that it goes beyond just stealing. There's actually like a little conspiracy happening in their small town, and they try to get to the bottom of it. I love the story, very heartwarming. There's like sports, friendship, bullying, school life, family life, community, intergenerational relationships. Just like an adorable, sweet, cozy story. If you love a cozy mystery, this is one to not be missed. I would recommend this story for kids ages 8 and up if you're going to read it to them. If they're going to read it by themselves, 9 and up would be good. But if you have an advanced 8-year-old reader, this would also work for them. The final book in my list of April releases for you today is Queenie in 7 Moves. I loved this book. This is what I like to think of as a bit of a heart print book. It's about this girl named Queenie. Queenie loves to play music, she loves to sing, and her family's going through a bit of a rough time right now. Now, again, Queenie, her mom is widowed, and her mom works in a retirement home. They don't own it. All of a sudden, their current landlady says she needs to move to her kids, to be closer to her kids, and she tells Queenie and her mom to move out of her house. She gives them like 2 weeks to find a new place. And so they're struggling. They have this housing insecurity issue. And so they move, first of all, to the retirement home where her mom works. And then when they get there, they only have like 2 weeks there because another person is moving in there. And so they start this series of moves from place to place. And along the way, because of these moves, of course, Queenie's heart is like widened and she gets to meet different characters. At the same time, the people in her life, she gets to re-examine her relationship with them. And basically moving around all over the place, this housing insecurity issue turns out to be something with a bit of a silver lining for her. It's just really heartwarming, very character driven, about a character who's navigating this challenge and overcoming it, who's persevering and making wonderful friends along the way. Lots of community, good vibes, really, really sweet, very compelling story as well. I loved this one. I'm very happy that Candlewick sent me an advanced copy of this book and I really enjoyed reading it. If your kids like stories about music, middle school life, a bit of rivalry, unlikely friendships, community, intergenerational friendships, they will love this one as well. And interestingly, it's set in Australia. Look at that. We're having like an international April releases situation. Those are 3 of the middle grade books releasing in April that I've read and love. There are about 7 plus more that I'm sharing with my Patreon community as well today. So if you're interested in getting that blog post, head over to Patreon. You can become a member for as little as $10 a month. I will leave a link in the description bar below. You can check that out if you would love to see more of my new release posts. Next month will be extra special because our summer reading guide is coming. It's coming out on the 6th of May, which is very exciting. And it's going to have so many books releasing between April and August. I'm very excited to share these books with you that will help you keep your kids reading all summer long. The guide is also going to have so many additional features to make it a joy to read and to use with the young ones in your life. I'm also doing something very fun this summer, and that is hosting an online summer book club. This is an online summer book club for kids ages 8 to 14, and we're going to be reading some amazing books, including these 2. If you'd like to know more about this book club, how to sign up, and every other question you might have about it, I'm going to leave a link in the description below so you can check that out and get your kids signed up ASAP. If you love this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my free content. I will see you in the next one.